More now on tonight's breaking news. Tentative agreement for Christine Ford to testify before the Senate Judiciary Committee this Thursday. Joining me now with exclusive reaction to that and more, Counselor to the President, Kellyanne Conway. Good evening, Counselor. Thank you for being with us on this Saturday night. All right.
It's nice to be with you, Judge. Thank you.
Thanks, Kellyanne. All right. Now, McCabe, or I should say, we have just found out, in addition to this possible Thursday hearing, we find out that Andrew McCabe's lawyer, is now on Christine Blasey Ford's team. If that isn't about political footprints, I don't know what is.
Well, those who are searching for the truth and transparency and accountability ought to file that one away, along with the fact that, as we know, earlier this week, it was revealed that her two female lawyers were headlining an event for Senator Tammy Baldwin. The news flash here, of course, is not that they're Democrats. We knew that. It's that they're headlining a fundraiser for one of the 100 senators who is going to vote on Judge Kavanaugh becoming a Supreme Court justice. So lots of different conflicts, but I think those who appreciate transparency and accountability are calling for it ought to note that. And guess who is leading that charge? One Judge Brett Kavanaugh. You know, Janine, last Sunday was the first time Judge Kavanaugh heard the name of got the identity of his accuser, Dr. Ford. And less than 24 hours later, he gave his statements, his sworn statements, to the Senate Judiciary Committee. And that's under lots of penalties. Of course, if you lie to Congress, I believe it's definitely punishable. Mm-hmm. But he did so less than 24 hours of even knowing her identity. Why? Because his story has never changed. It's always been the same. He's been willing to raise his right hand and testify to clear his name and to say under oath and publicly for all to see and hear
Kellyanne,
what he has said already, which is that he categorically and unequivocally denies this.
But
he went a little bit further. But no, it goes beyond that, Janine. You got to read his whole statement. He said, I've never done what is alleged to have done to anyone, including this person. He says to anyone, he said he wasn't there, and it doesn't seem to matter to anyone. So I'm glad he's going and she's going, and they'll be testifying. He's given no conditions, no demands whatsoever. All he wants to do is show up. He would have done anything this week.
No conditions, no demands. Let me tell you, Kellyanne, you and I are both lawyers. We get it, okay? I tried cases for 30 years. I've sat in a courtroom as a judge overseeing cases. You never, ever say to the defendant, you go first, when he doesn't even have a bill of particulars.
And there's a reason for that. That's right. There's a reason for that. To what are you responding? A Washington Post report?
Exactly.
The nonsense of the senators. I mean, Judge Kavanaugh spent 30 hours under oath, but not a single senator did. Now, did they? Not a single senator is under oath when they speak nonsense all week long.
Why did they have this and they didn't ask him, even without using her name? You know, Judge, have you ever had a problem or been accused or been at a party? Anything. Why?
Anything and anything. Well, Senator Mazie Hirono, who famously told America's men this week to, quote, just shut up. That was really nice. Take note of that. She had asked Judge Kavanaugh a similar question, but she asked, like, since you've been a legal adult, have you done this? But by the way, she was just doing that because that's what she does. She's the newest. Go pull the transcript. But more importantly, there were private conversations between Senator Feinstein, for example, who sat on this letter, and Chairman Grassley, I understand, and Judge Kavanaugh. That's the kind of forum through which you touch upon sensitive matters. One would think this would qualify as a sensitive matter. Nobody mentioned it. So two things quickly. One is it is completely at the feet of Senator Feinstein and the Democrats that Dr. Ford's anonymity was ever breached and her identity ever disclosed. Number one, the whole chain of custody for that identity rested with the Democrats. Number two, you can argue that the whole reason she's getting a hearing, the whole reason she'll have a public say is because of the Republicans, not the Democrats. The Senate Judiciary Committee, led by Chairman Grassley, is honoring her request to testify. She will be there. The White House has said all week, let her speak. Everybody has said, let her speak. But to let her speak means she's actually coming to speak and not using cheap words like bullying. Nobody's bullying her. Nobody wants her to be unsafe.
Let me ask you, does the White House know?
To say, please adhere.
Kellyanne, I don't have much time. Does the White House know about this tentative deal? And are they concerned about the concessions that are being made for this woman?
The White House respects the process. This is still part of the Senate confirmation hearing of Judge Kavanaugh as a nominee to the Supreme Court. This is not a criminal proceeding. This is not a civil proceeding. This is another part. Of course, it was all done until they came up with this in the 11th and a half hour. This is part of the Senate confirmation hearing. And what I think is important to note is Judge Kavanaugh, this man of integrity and intellect and character, he has said he's never done this to anyone, including her. So that's really definitive and unequivocal. And he's also said he wasn't at the party. So she will have it. These allegations are serious. We take them seriously. We want to hear from her.
We all do.
But we also, it's not, but Janine, quickly, and my last point would be this. It is not a reasonable demand. It is uprooting hundreds of years of jurisprudence for the accuser to go second. In other words, you have to put your claim out there. The complainant, the plaintiff goes first, and then you respond to that.
Kellyanne Conway, thanks so much for being with us on this Saturday night.
We want to vote. We want a hearing, and we want to vote. Thank you.
Thank you. All right.